It's finally here, man. Finally here. NFL Thursday night kickoff. The first game of the season. I'm super excited, man. So much anticipation built up for this day. This is one of the most anticipated days of the year for me. Let me cut this light back on real quick. And yeah, man. So this video, as you can tell by the title, there's gonna be a prediction video and top headlines for this upcoming weekend. First thing first, NFL is king, man. Everybody know that. Anybody that's a true sports fan in terms of anything mainstream, whether it's baseball, MLB, NBA, it doesn't matter. NFL is king. When NFL come around, don't nobody want to compete with the NFL, man. It's king. Let's get that out the way. But man, I'm very excited for this season, man. It's so much balance around the league, like consistently. And each division, NFC and AFC, each conference and division is very, very, very competitive. And that's part of the reason why NFL is king. So I'm still going to come out with a prediction video, meaning for the upcoming season. But in terms of this weekend, let's get into this. But before we do that, though, I ain't had this bad boy out since the draft. It's time now. Yeah, we ready. So before we do these predictions and go game by game, because I'm going from Thursday all the way to the Monday night game. Before we do that, though, I want to go over a couple of the top headlines, not just for the NFL season, but for this weekend. It's a lot going on. It's a lot of different storylines in pretty much every game you look, and it's going to be very entertaining. So I'm going to give y'all a couple of storylines to look out for this weekend. So, NFL top headlines. We got Dak Prescott returned from injury. Obviously, he suffered the horrific injury last year when he broke his ankle. Had to get surgery on it twice, 2 cuts. It was a very tragic injury. So, obviously, his return, he's one of the stars of the NFL. Going to be very interesting to see him. And, obviously, he gets the first game. So, him going up against that hot Tampa's defense when he haven't had no pregame reps or nothing is going to be very interesting to see. Very interesting. And then next, my boy, my team, Jalen Hurts. Not that he didn't play last year, but the Jalen Hurts era is officially upon us now for Philly, or in Philly. But it gets started in Atlanta. So that's another storyline. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, with him getting Devontae Smith, and there's a lot going on there, obviously, with Kyle Pitts, too. So that's another good game to keep your eye on. And then next, we got Joe Burrow. I think we forget what Joe Burrow was doing before he was hurt. Joe Burrow was balling, man. He had a really nice rookie season going. But obviously, he had towards ACL, so he's back. And then we got a star-studded game in Tennessee. Obviously, we got King Derrick Henry running that rock. But I'm talking about the receivers, though. Strictly the receivers. Obviously, we got Julio and A.J. Brown. And then on the other side for Arizona, we got DeAndre Hopkins, who's top 2 to me. And then, obviously the return of A.J. Green. Let's see if he can get back, to what, not even necessarily what A.J. Green used to be, because he don't necessarily have to be that. But let's just see if he can get back to, relevancy. And as well as Rondale Moore, Christian Kirk, and others. And then we got Indy and Seattle playing. But we got the Wentz era in Indy. So it's very, obviously Wentz has a lot of naysayers. He got a lot of people rooting for him, but also a lot of people that's wanting to see him lose. Let's just call it what it is. So we got that to look forward to. Wentz has everything he needs there to succeed. So that's going to be very interesting to see them too. But everybody's obviously talking about Thursday night, and rightfully so. But as I was talking about in a bit, I do think Tampa wins that pretty handily. But I think the game of the week is Cleveland and Kansas City. In my opinion, the Browns has the second best roster in all of football behind Tampa Bay. And I don't think that that's crazy to say. I think that KC is better just because of Mahomes. Mahomes gives that, that extra edge. And Andy Reid, and it's a lot of still factors. Obviously, they still have weapons too, but I think overall, top to bottom, I think Cleveland's roster is a little better than Kansas City's. But Mahomes is just better than Baker, and I just think that obviously he tops them off. But obviously that's a great game. I think that that's the game of the week to keep your eye on and watch that one. And then okay, let's speed through this now. So then we got Tua and Mac Jones. Tua, a lot of people has written him off already. So obviously he has weapons now. He's not going to have them all this week, but it's going to be very interesting to see him the whole year. But as well as Mac Jones making his debut, and then we have Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson's debut. So it's a lot going on, man. That's not it. Let's go on to the next slide. And then finishing it off, we have Sam Darnold against his old team. And that's very, very intriguing to me because I'm rooting for Sam Darnold. I'm coming out with a video of players I want to see succeed for this upcoming season, and he's on my list. I want to see Sam Darnold do his thing, man. And I like what he got in Carolina, too. And then we got the 49ers, who's a dark horse for me. We have how do they utilize the quarterback rotation? Because I think it's been said that Trey Lance will play, even though Jimmy G is the starter. So that's going to be very interesting to see, their quarterback system, so to say, if you will. And then Matt Stafford. We hear so many NFL players rave about how elite he is. He's just been in a bad situation in Detroit. It's time for Matt Stafford to prove something now. So he gets his first game in a big stage against the Bears on Sunday night, if I'm not mistaken. So his debut is going to be one I got my eye on. Jameis Winston, era in New Orleans. I think Jameis will succeed in New Orleans. I think he learned a lot behind Drew Brees and obviously Sean Payton. And I think that he's set up to succeed. I really hope that Michael Thomas can come back. But his era begins, as well as Teddy Bridgewater's debut with Denver. So it's a lot of storylines and headlines to look out for this upcoming weekend. Now let's get into some predictions. Okay, so as you can see, I have all the games charted out, and any game that has the red dot or team that has the red dot by its name, that's who I'm picking to win this week game. So let's just quickly go through it real quick. For the Thursday night game, Dallas and Tampa Bay, I have Tampa Bay winning. Jacksonville and Houston, I have Jacksonville. Then we have the LA Chargers and Washington football team. I have the LA Chargers. We got Seattle and Indy. I have Indy. The Jets and the Panthers, I have the Panthers. Minnesota and Cincinnati, I have Minnesota. And then we got Arizona and Tennessee. I'm going with Tennessee. San Fran and Detroit, I'm going with San Fran. Pittsburgh and Buffalo, I'm going with Buffalo. Eagles and Falcons, I'm going with Eagles, of course. And then Cleveland and KC, I'm going with Cleveland. Shocker there, huh? Green Bay and New Orleans, I'm going with Green Bay. Denver and the Giants, I'm going with Denver. Miami and New England, very intriguing, I'm going with Miami. And then to top it off, the two night games, primetime games for Sunday and Monday, I'm going with the Rams to beat the Bears, and I'm going with Baltimore to beat Oakland. So the two that we're going to touch on, though, and cover breakdown right now are the Eagles game and the Falcons game. I'm going to come back to do the other games. But we're going to do the Cowboys game because they play tonight. So for the Cowboys and the Tampa Bay game and Tampa Bay Bucks game, I'm definitely going with the Bucks. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be taking bias aside. Let me take this head off. You know what I mean? Let me just be honest. The Cowboys have all the talent in the world, but we say this every year. If we're talking roster for roster, especially offensively, the Cowboys offensively can compete with Tampa. But it's two sides to the ball, unfortunately. And the Cowboys are just not good defensively. Now, I do think they will be improved, but what is improved? They're going to go from, what were they last year? 30th? What are they going to go from the bottom 5 in the league to the top? No. Like, if they can just get middle of the pack, maybe we'll see what they can do in the season in its totality. But for this game, I just think that this is wrong place, wrong time. I think that Dak haven't had no reps, no preseason reps. And Tampa just, brought everybody back. And I just think it's just wrong place, wrong time for the Cowboys. I think that They're going to get immense pressure on Dak. I don't think the Cowboy line will hold up. I don't think Zeke is going to be able to run. Like, I just think it's a bad matchup for the Cowboys. I think it's going to be a typical Cowboy game. Bucks get up early, quick. Maybe the first quarter's a little slow. Then they get up early, second. And then middle of the third, they come out early scoring, meaning Tampa. So let's just say that they up. I say 24-7. And then Dallas slowly gets the ball rolling. And I'm gonna say Tampa wins 31-21. I'm gonna say Tampa wins 31-21. But the score is a little bit closer than expected. Well, the score would indicate that the game is closer than what it was. But I think that Tampa will win this game pretty handily. And it starts up front. Offensive line and defensive line, I think they're gonna win. But at every position, I think they're just better than the Cowboys. And then we get to the Eagles game and the Falcons game. So excited for this one. So excited. Because everybody has completely written the Eagles off as if, I talked about this in previous videos, everybody has written the Eagles off as if they in the NFC West. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand, man, how they not giving the Eagles the slightest a chance to compete with Washington, the Giants, or the Cowboys. I don't understand. But it's okay, though. It's okay. It starts this weekend, and people will know. I think that I'm picking the Eagles to win simply because of the offensive line and D-line. The Eagles is healthy right now. They are healthy right now. Can't talk about the rest of the season, but going into the Falcons game, they are healthy. So I'm picking the Eagles to dominate up front, both sides of the ball, offensive line and defensive line. I think we get the running game going, and it just opens it up. And I don't think that they will blow them out, but I do think the Eagles will win. So there you have it. I'm really excited to see Kyle Pitts, especially to how we're going to defend him too. We just don't have no answer for him. So, and then they barely used him. They didn't, just a series or two in preseason. So very interesting. But you know, the Devontae Smith debut, I'm anxious. But stay tuned for the next video I'm checking out. All of my boxing, NFL, and NBA fans, like, share, and subscribe, man. Keep coming back. I'm going to be dropping more content.